Middle school science teachers, you'll be so excited about today's sponsor, Explore Labs. It encourages kids to solve through science. Stay tuned at the end of the show to learn how their free fire forensics lab can excite your kids about learning while aligning with next generation science standards. Middle School STEAM, 5 Ways to Amp It Up, episode 230.
The 10-Minute Teacher Podcast with Vicki Davis. Every weekday, you'll learn powerful, practical ways to be a more remarkable teacher today.
Today, we're talking with my friend Pauline Roberts. She's an instructional specialist in Michigan, working with grades 3 through 8. But Pauline, today you have for us 5 ways to amp up STEM in middle school. What's our first way?
I think the first thing to consider is how you can collaborate with your science, engineering, and math teaching colleagues. At the middle school level, teachers tend to become more isolated as content experts. And in order to make your STEM activities more powerful and engaging, I would highly recommend that you connect in any way possible with those expert colleagues. Explore the curriculum, look for natural connections, plan together, develop a common language and rubrics together. Try and observe each other teach and seek out opportunities to team teach. Taking the time to develop a coherent approach to STEM in your building will help to develop STEM experiences for students that have a much greater impact on learning.
Absolutely. And, change and innovation is all about relationships, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yes.
Excellent. Okay, what's our second, Pauline?
I think the second thing to do is to provide an authentic real-world context for your STEM projects by challenging students to generate creative solutions to real-world problems. The level of enthusiasm and engagement just soars as students learn to ask, find, or determine answers to questions derived from curiosity about everyday experiences and describe or explain and articulate their thoughts about the world around them. In the process of solving real-world authentic problems, they begin to see themselves as true innovators who can make a positive difference in the world.
Do you have an example for us of something you've done at your school?
Oh, we've got lots of real world problems going on at the moment in my building. We have 5th and 6th grade students in a middle school setting who are working on how to save the bees. They've learned all about the science behind the bee population, the reasons why it could possibly be declining, and they've contacted local experts and they've worked very diligently to build their own beehives off-site, and they collect data and manage that data to try and learn how they can help save bees and spread what they've learned to the wider community.
Oh, how exciting. I bet they love it.
They do. They love going out there in their full beehive outfits and then harvesting honey. They harvest the honey and they sell that honey within the local community as part of an educational process and to raise funds to fund things they need to continue the project.
We could just go forever on that one, but what's our third? Yeah.
I would say tap into experts within your community. We frequently survey our community members about their careers and their passions in order to include them in the learning process. We often have family members come into the classroom to present or work alongside students as they work on their projects. We look at local businesses or organizations who have expertise in a subject area that we need. We can go visit them on site to gather knowledge firsthand, or for experts who are further afield, we interview them by phone or by video conferencing. Connecting students with experts in the field really increases their level of understanding and results in deeper thinking for them.
Can you think of a recent expert your students connected with?
Oh, we have students in our 3rd and 4th grade classrooms who have been working on hydroponic gardening. So they had a local expert called Pauline Roberts, who is a 70-year-old hydroponic expert in our community. And she brought her hydroponic garden to our school and taught the students about how she manages it, how she increases the productivity, about how to make sure it runs and functions smoothly, and the things that she does with her harvest afterwards. So she was an amazing expert for our students to learn from.
Incredible. Okay, what's our fourth?
Oh, I would say teach skills, not just content. If you want students to collaborate, you really need to spend time explicitly teaching them how to communicate, how to be politely critical, how to reach consensus, and how to ask questions and synthesize information. If we want them to learn about high productivity, provide them with challenges and deadlines, and teach student the skills they need to hit those deadlines. I would ask students to conduct a personal skills inventory, then ask them to use those inventories to determine who will play specific roles in a team project. For example, who would be the best project manager, who would be the best lead engineer or technology manager, etc. A STEM classroom can often be a noisy and chaotic environment, and by teaching students these skills and asking them to assume specific roles, we empower them to manage themselves.
Cool. Where did you get your personal skills inventory?
We just created it at school, and it's basically just a list of skills broken down by what digital skills have you got, what organizational skills have you got, and students kind of check on a continuum. On a scale of 1 to 5, I have great organizational skills. I have great communication skills. I am a great problem solver with technology. I spend a lot of time with technology. And they use these personal skills inventories to kind of struggle amongst themselves when they're allocated into a team. They kind of interview each other based on those personal skill inventories to determine who will get each role in the team. And at the end of a project, they will sit and reflect upon those skills and see in which areas they grew, which areas they still need to work on, and use this information to keep improving and becoming a better team member.
Fantastic. What's our fifth?
I would say teach empathy. If we want students to generate solutions to problems, we need them to be able to walk in the shoes of others in order to fully understand the problem and to develop effective solutions. I would take time to build empathetic habits like cultivating curiosity about others, encouraging kindness. I would teach students about emotions and how to manage them, and teach active listening skills. By providing opportunities that help students to become other focused, then they can become the caring, responsible global citizens that we want them to be.
Oh, that is challenging. So, Pauline, as we finish up, can you give us, an activity or something you've encouraged teachers to do to help build empathy?
One of the key skills of empathy, one of the first skills that's outlined by Michelle Borber in her book, Unselfie, is how to recognize and name emotions. So we created various quizzes for students, depending on grade levels from 3rd through 8th. We created quick quizzes and activities for students to be able to look at images. For example, in 3rd grade, we used different emoticons and asked students to name the emotion that's portrayed by the emoji. And all the way through to 8th grade, we showed students just eyes from people and asked them to name the emotion that they thought the picture of the eyes was conveying. Just by being able to name emotions, to accurately be able to give it an actual name, then students are way more able to manage their own emotions.
This actually hits on a very important topic that a lot of people don't discuss, which is nonverbal learning disabilities. Mm-hmm. And I have personal experience with this. And with a child with a nonverbal learning disability, one of the things you teach them is how to recognize emotions, because sometimes they can't recognize emotions, mm-hmm. and it can easily make them a target for both bullying as well as just feeling misunderstood, because they're also giving out mixed signals. So I love that you're doing that, Pauline. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
Teachers, we have 5 excellent ways to amp up STEM in middle school. And I love how empathy and some of these things that are in here are not necessarily what some people would call STEM, but are a very important part of what we do in STEM. Please check the show notes for all of the links and the resources that we'll be sharing, as well as how to connect with Pauline Roberts. She is a fantastic go-to. I have no idea, Pauline, how long you and I have known or followed each other's work, but it's been a while, hasn't it?
It has, and I learn from you every day. Thank you, Vicki.
Oh, you're so sweet, and it's just nice to connect. We all have friends that we kind of connect with online, and Pauline is one of those for me. So let's amp up STEM in middle school, and I think you can also apply this to other grade levels. Explore Labs has a fantastic way to help students understand fire dynamics, and fire behavior. Check out their free fire forensics kit. Students can read a fire scene and build a claim for the fire's location of origin and cause. Just think about solving a mystery and learning science. Now, this lab is completely free, and it's a ready-to-use resource and meets next-generation science standards. So go to coolcatteacher.com/fire lab. That's coolcatteacher.com/FIRELAB to sign up and get your free fire forensics kit today. What a fun way for middle school science teachers to teach and explore with kids.
Thank you for listening to the 10-Minute Teacher Podcast. You can download the show notes and see the archive at coolcatteacher.com/podcast. Never stop learning.